Hey, David.
I can leave if that's how you're going to be.
Oh, my gosh. Why would you say that? Why would you say that? We want you here. Jerk.
Okay, fine.
No, don't leave. Don't leave. God, we're live and you got...
Great start, guys. Great
don't
start.
leave, Dave. Please. Please don't go. Do you have any news, Dave? Let's start with you in the pre-show. This is the pre-show where we talk about what we're going to do on the show.
One of my mother's co-workers tested positive for COVID, and it has wrecked my whole week.
Oh, so you had to whatever go away.
What is going on? What is happening here?
I don't know what's going on.
My computer just went into update mode. What the fuck?
Oh no.
Oh man. Well, at least it's the pre-show, so that should be okay.
All right, there. I got it to stop.
We got plenty of news.
Yeah. So
I do hope
so
your
my
mother's okay though, man.
She got tested. She got tested for COVID, and I just really haven't had to have any interactions with her and my dad. Yeah. And I've been kind of running. I've been running errands for him pretty much.
I meant more like geek news.
That has been pretty much the most dominating thing right now in my life.
In your life. Okay, well that's fair. That's fair. All right, so anyway, then I'll get back to the geek news since that's what we do on the pre-show. It's like it's your first day. This dude's off a week and he like forgets how to do his job.
Well, I didn't even get to watch.
I mean,
I haven't even watched WandaVision yet.
Oh, you haven't even watched WandaVision yet?
No,
we're gonna spoil the shit out of that, man.
Yeah, we're gonna spoil that pretty hard later on. It was a pretty episode. We also have other news we're going to talk about. Falcon Winter Soldier trailer just like 15 minutes ago dropped. We're going to talk about it. Looks shittier than usual. Thanks. I don't know if that's a compliment or not. Count your blessings that were fuzzy, Big Willie. So Heroes Reborn. We're definitely talking about Heroes Reborn. Big event coming up. It's a weekly with tie-ins. So, man, they are really getting all of my money. New Fantastic Four series announced, the life story. We're going to get into that.
Yeah, Mark Russell. It's really exciting. Mark Russell's getting.
Mark Russell's doing Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
it's a life story though.
He's getting out of DC.
Yeah,
I might actually get on board with that one.
See, you're going to pick that up. Yara Flor gets a new Wonder Girl series. We'll talk about that. And yes, WandaVision. I got dope food news. It's holiday related. We did have Beast Wars #1, so there will be a moment of destruction. And then we're going to review some comics. Any other news that you guys want to talk about?
Not necessarily want to talk about, but I guess it's worth mentioning that Screech died.
Oh, yeah.
Dustin Diamond.
He did die. Yeah, that sucks, man.
Yeah, sad news.
Well, like a couple of weeks back that he announced he had very advanced thyroid cancer or something like that.
Yeah, he has some disease. He's died of something.
Yeah, he was not kidding. Apparently, it was like 3 weeks from diagnosis to death on that.
That sucks, man.
Yeah.
It's honestly, and I don't want to get too grim, but my mom had cancer, and she said before she died that she was sort of thankful that she got something that she was able to predict when she was going to, sort of pass away instead of just getting hit by a bus, because she was able to really talk to a lot of people about a lot of important things. So hopefully he had that, in the 3 weeks before he passed away.
That is a grim but very real silver lining, I think.
Thanks. I like to be grim with silver lining. All right. This is the best part of the pre-show where we talk about what we're going to do later on. Not on this show, this terrible show. Leroy has chosen the next movie for the Geek Tyrion collection. He promised that it was going to be the blackest movie ever. I'm not sure if he's reneged on that. I'm not sure.
I don't think he delivered necessarily.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he delivered. I'm not sure if he's actually, going to have like this weird mind-blowing connection. Because I watched RoboCop the other day. Dude, there's a whole lot there about funding police,
that totally
about
is.
gentrification, about a lot of things right now that matter to Black Lives Matter, which might be, at least to us white people, the biggest, movement for people of color in the history in recent history. But we're going to do RoboCop, the 87 classic.
Man, as soon as you told me this was the pick, I watched it that night.
I did too.
I I don't need an excuse to watch this movie.
It's amazing. Remember when he shoots that dude in the balls?
Oh yeah.
Remember when he melts that dude with acid and he's just like, and then gets hit by a car and just liquefies around.
Have you ever seen the My RoboCop movie?
The My RoboCop? No boy.
No. Okay, basically it's like a bunch of amateur filmmakers got together, and each amateur filmmaker would do a scene from RoboCop.
They did one scene. They did this for Back to the Future as well.
Yeah,
those are very good. I have not seen the RoboCop one.
The whole being shot in the ball sequence becomes a whole musical number.
Oh, dude, that sounds so great. That sounds great.
But the best scene I enjoy is when they demonstrate the Ed 209 and it's this giant puppet and they shoot another puppet.
Nice. Also coming up in February, top 5 comic book runs. Man, this has been very interesting coming up with my runs. Spoiler alert, Captain America from Ed Brubaker.
That's a pretty good run.
Dude, I don't think there's any way I can keep
pretty
that
damn
off
good run.
I just didn't care anything for Captain America before that run. I swear, you know what I mean? I just didn't care. In the Avengers, sure.
You are a filthy communist.
I know, I am. But
and pretty much all the good stuff that we got from the good Captain America movies came from that run of comic books.
Exactly.
Yeah, Ed Brubaker's Captain America run is one of those definitive runs that really changed the way that the character has been presented ever since.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not only that it's a good run, it's not only that it's like a defining run, like you said, Taylor, but it's almost a universe-defying run. If we don't get that run, I don't think we get. I mean, we obviously don't get, the Winter Soldier Bucky back, but it's almost set a tone for the Marvel universe because Captain America, at least post Civil War and on, it was such a Captain America-centric universe. You know what I mean? That the Marvel universe was pretty much changed by that. Oh, hey, Sims, thanks, man. Yeah, streaming the Super Bowl. Everybody is. Oh, you're right.
What, the Super Bowl tonight?
Dude, I was just in it for the commercials, dude. I don't care. They're making a big deal about how Brady is older than dirt and Mahomes is younger than shit. It's weird to me, man, that we're focused so much on age.
I mean,
whatever.
I hate Tom Brady, and they were doing well when I left, so maybe I was bad luck for the Chiefs. Maybe that'll turn it around for him.
I was more, honestly, Simmons, I'm more pissed off that I'm going to miss the halftime show from the weekend. I'm actually stoked about that. But, yeah.
Well, you can go back and watch that.
I haven't followed any football this whole year, so I
didn't
really
either.
Invested in
I didn't either, dude. I know they had 700 COVID cases, and with that, let's get into the show. I got to find – sorry, I was not cued for this.
God damn it, Gomer.
We're doing this all pre-show, too.
We're going to do Geek Tyrion in top 5, the 16th and the 23rd. We're not sure which one. Probably the Geek Tyrion on the 16th, because then that gives us a little bit more time to, swing into our top 5 and get all those notes and everything. So, all right, let's get into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Well, with the production values of this thing.
Dude, I really like the
I'm surprised you went ahead and used that one. I'm surprised you went ahead and used that clip. You're going to use it a lot for future state later, aren't you?
I haven't. I didn't read anything. Well, the only future state I read this week was the Wonder Woman, and I kind of dug that one. So, no.
I'm not going to really bring any future state up.
Yeah. No future state from me.
Greetings, geeks. Welcome back. It's another episode of this Geek in Comics, Outright Geekery's comic book shit talk show.
Shit talk show.
I'm not sure what else you could possibly be doing right now. It's not like the biggest media event of the year is going on while we're doing this. But hey, we're not afraid. It's Davey and Goliath. All right, we got 2 people watching. All right, that's twice as many as we usually have.
The NFL's probably pissed that we're drawing so much of their viewing audience away.
I'm expecting the phone call.
It's like that
kick
scene
in our
from the
doors.
first cartoon series where like they have a huge cell. It's like our competitors have just sold 400% more.
I'm your co-host Gomer, Adam Normal Taylor, aka David, helping me out.
Hi guys.
We're helping each other out. I've tried to do this alone. It's terrible. It's the worst show ever.
the Gomer Show.
I've of course been reading some old runs. This segment one where we just talk about what we did this week. I've of course been reading some old runs. I wouldn't call it actually reading, more like reminding myself how dope it is. You know what I mean? Because I remember them. It's sort of like, getting that taste back in my mouth, smelling the flowers again. But dude, I got HBO Max. My old lady hasn't been feeling good. She put on The Shining the other day because horror movies make her feel better, just like normal human beings.
It's just like most people who like to watch like.
Hey, they make me feel better.
They make me feel better too. It depends on. We were watching Jaws just before the Super Bowl went on. She's
I
like,
love Jaws. It's great.
Oh, dude, it's so good. Anyway, so when you finish a movie on HBO Max, because we just let the credits roll, talking about the movie, what we noticed this time. Because it's The Shining and it's so amazing. But then it said, hey, why don't you watch Dr. Sleep? And I'm like, okay, I haven't seen Dr. Sleep. I'll watch Dr. Sleep. Dude, Dr. Sleep is a sequel to The Shining?
Yeah. Yeah,
it's
you didn't know that?
Superhero movie. It's a superhero movie. Has everybody seen it?
No, I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it, but I knew it was a sequel to The Shining.
Apparently no one saw it. I heard that it was really good.
Dude, it's like a superhero movie. There's like other people with the same shining power, and they're dude, it's rad. It was so good. It might be the best.
Good things. I heard a lot of good things about it.
It might be the best superhero movie I've seen outside of the MCU and Logan, of course. It was amazing. It was so rad. So me and my old lady are talking about this movie, and I'm like, it's a superhero movie. She goes, well, like all Stephen King's books are kind of like superhero books. Somebody got some power in there. And I'm like, what about Misery? I'm like, well, the chick in Misery is a super villain. And I'm like, oh my gosh. My old lady blew my mind after we watched The Shining, talking about Stephen King. Anyway, the amazing Amanda, shout out. She's still sick. What else? What did everybody else do this week? Anything? Well, we're going up against the weekend. Make it good, dude.
Oh, well, just, my mom's coworker got a positive diagnosis of COVID, and that's pretty much dominated my whole week. It's like making sure my mom and my dad have stuff they need, and, keeping safe distance and dropping stuff up on the porch.
Nice. You're like Santa Claus.
Hey,
I am. I'm like a
good on you doing right by your family, man. That's good of you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's dominated my week. I haven't been able to sit down and watch WandaVision.
We're gonna spoil that for you.
Oh, thank you.
Say it again. Go ahead.
I guess tag out for 5 minutes or something when we talk about it. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. William slept 18 hours yesterday, dude.
That sounds really nice.
I don't think that's healthy.
Unless I had
that ain't healthy.
Unless I had some drugs, there's no way I could do that. And I mean some good ones. And even then, I don't think my bladder would allow me to. Maybe it wasn't all at the same time. Maybe he split it up. 9 hours here, 9 hours there. Taylor, what'd you do this week? Anything amazing worth mentioning?
I suppose not. Not really.
He had to think about it. He's like, oh, I didn't know you were going to ask me that like you do every week. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, there's only so many times I could say, like, I played D&D the other day,
I
pretty
know.
much how I spend my...
You could be like,
how I spend my Fridays and Saturdays most of the time.
Dude, I almost had a double crit this week. Over to you, Adam. What'd you do this week?
I killed that.
Okay, so if you really want to know, we did have to adjudicate whether trying to fart while another character was trying to sniff was going to be a strength check or a con check. We spent like a few good minutes talking about which one that would be most appropriate.
What was the verdict?
There you go.
What was the verdict?
I would say a con check.
We ended up going with. We said it would be a con check if he was trying to hold in a fart, but it's a strength check to try to force one out.
I would say
he's trying to utilize his muscles to push something out of his body.
There's got to be a feat that allows you to use your dex score on that. I'm just saying. There's got to be.
There certainly is not. No, there's a pretty thin list of art-related material.
I need a house rule. Adam, what'd you do this week?
Oh no, I've been just hung out with some family this week. Hang out with my parents. Watch some old movies.
Helping out with coronavirus. You're catching coronavirus. Awesome.
Yeah, pretty much. Watched RoboCop. Watched Hellboy right before this.
Nice.
So yeah.
Which one? The new one, the heavy metal Hellboy.
No, the old one.
I didn't mind heavy metal Hellboy.
Yeah, it was okay. It was all right.
Cool. I mean, it wasn't Hellboy,
No,
but it wasn't bad. It's fine.
I haven't seen this new Hellboy, so
man, you didn't see nothing. It's pretty good, dude. There's a wrestling thing in there. It's fun. Let's do this. And the news always lasts.
In the nudes.
I have this Heroes Reborn video, but I tested it for Adam, and he's like, "Dude, that's so loud. You're gonna kill somebody."
Positive.
That everybody gonna quit, and he's like, and there's only one person watching now anyway.
It's William.
So, yeah,
let him go. Let him go. We'll just do it without an audience.
No, don't be like that. Willie's like, I don't watch football. So yeah, Heroes Reborn, Jason Aaron, Ed McGuinness. It's a weekly. That's what we've learned. Basically, this is Jason Aaron saying, you know what? I'm contractually obligated to work for Marvel, but if DC isn't going to do some good comics, I'm going to do some damn good DC comics. Good on you, Jason. We appreciate it. The first issue is him and Ed McGuinness, and then Dale Cohn and Ed McGuinness on issue 2. Federico Vicentini and Ed McGuinness on issue 3. James Decoy and Ed McGuinness on issue number 4. And basically it's Hyperion and the Squadron Supreme in a world where there aren't any Avengers or never were.
It's murderer's row of artists, man. So
it really is, man. It really is. But they've also, not only is it a weekly, in May, they're also releasing a shit ton of tie-ins. All right, Hyperion and the Imperial Guard. This is a young Hyperion. This is a teenage Hyperion. Ryan Cady and Michelle Bandini.
So is it like Superboy and Legion?
Okay, so it's Legion of Superheroes.
It's Legion of Superheroes. It's all the space dudes.
Yeah.
All right, so the next one is Peter Parker.
That whole comic is a good meta joke. Yeah.
Well,
like you have
this whole event is a
the
pastiche.
Superman ripoff hanging out with the Legion ripoff. Yeah,
this whole thing is a pastiche, sort of
DC.
Of DC, yeah. We also have Peter Parker, the Amazing Shutterbug. It's Jimmy Olsen. He's just, What else we got, man? That's Mark.
Hey, DC, I'm in your house rearranging your furniture.
It's Mark Bernardine and Raphael Latour. We got Magneto and the Mutant Force. I'm not really sure what this would be in a pastiche.
I don't know either. I'd have to actually read it.
I'm hoping it's Batman. Magneto is fucking Batman.
Maybe Doom Patrol?
Yeah, that's the one thing I have in my notes is that it might be Doom Patrol. But at one point, Doom Patrol was called Doom Force. Very early on.
Well, see, that would be also a pretty good meta joke because the X-Men and the Doom Patrol basically came out at the same time.
I thought Doom Patrol came out I thought Doom Patrol came out first.
I mean, there's argument there of who come up with the idea first and who published the.
Yeah, they were like very, very close to each other. I know that.
They came out close enough to each other that
there's an argument about it.
They must have known about it. Either they knew about it beforehand or whatever, but it's not like a direct imitation like Squadron Supreme of Justice League per se. That's like a direct spoof of an established
Marvel
thing.
and DC rip each other off. It's tradition. That's just what happens. Okay,
yeah, that's how we got the new gods.
Yeah.
My favorite story along those lines is that the guy who created Swamp Thing and the guy who created Man Thing were roommates. And to this day, it's difficult to prove which one saw the other guy's drawing first.
Yeah. David, you'll dig this one. Heroes Reborn, Young Squadron. But the creative team is Jim Zub and Stephen Cummings.
Okay, I'm on board with that.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's the Wayward right there.
That's the Wayward. They also worked on Champions together. Once Jim Zub got his job at Marvel and had some clout there, he brought Stephen Cummings in, which was a really cool thing. But yeah, this is basically the young Teen Titans. It's Teen Titans.
That's what Champions was basically.
That's a cool creative team, and I care about 2 out of 3 of those characters. So yeah, I might pick that up.
Yeah, I'm getting all this, dude. Every week we're talking about this damn thing. I have a video. I just need to turn the volume down. And Siege Society. All right. It's Suicide Squad, y'all. It's Suicide Squad with Zemo, obviously, because he's a Thunderbolts guy. This is my favorite of them all. This is Cody Ziegler, who I have no idea who that dude is, and Paco Medina, who I adore.
Paco Medina's great.
Oh, he's freaking awesome. So this is going to be great, dude. It's Romanov, Clint Barton, Scott Lang, the Black Ant, Victor Creed.
Black Ant. I love Black Ant.
Yeah.
Irredeemable Ant-Man.
I mean, this is great, dude. This is dope. I am so excited for this event. I was really on the fence when they first announced it. But man,
Avengers has been a lot of fun lately. So I'm really excited for anything that Jason Aaron can throw at me right now.
Yeah, so look forward to that in May as we have I'm sure as excitement builds up and things like that, they'll announce even more.
Okay, Cody Ziegler did a lot of stuff for Adult Swim.
Oh, fun. Okay.
He did the UCB Club. He did Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell, Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Squidbillies.
Squidbillies.
Oh, Squidbillies is I have a love-hate relationship with Squidbillies.
Let's move on away from whatever that is.
All
right. It was really hot when it first came out. The Spider-Man life story from Chip Zdarsky. It was a great series. They're now doing a Fantastic Four life story, and what we have to call the life story, I mean, it's like its own imprint now.
Yeah, I'm down with it.
Yeah, Mark Russell and Sean Izaakse are doing it. Every issue is going to be a different decade, starting with the swinging 60s. Mark Russell is perfect for this. He's able to touch on really poignant social relevance.
Yes.
He'll be able to do that. What about Hulk 43 this week? We thought about talking about that, Big Willie. I know exactly what you're talking about the anti-Semitic thing in the art. But what can we add to that except pointing out that, it's kind of racist. It was accidental. Dude apologize. That's it. We're not scholars or
I will say
it happened and it's squashed. It's over now.
The big thing for me to point out of it is that this is the second time in recent memory that something racist in the art has come out of Marvel. Marvel's editorial is not doing their job, or there is no editorial in Marvel, which is a problem in and of itself.
Exactly. To me, that's the only thing that we could really talk about. But we already knew that. We knew Marvel's editorial is shit because we read the books and we see how disjointed they are. Unless you've got Hickman looking over your shoulder at every X-Men title, your books are not going to feel like they're part of the same universe. Dude, Aaron's Avengers, as dope as it is, it doesn't feel like it's part of Black Panther or Cap or Iron Man or Hulk or any of the other things that are going on in the Marvel universe with the characters that are in that book.
That's always true. That's always true to some extent with the Avengers book, like pretty much at any given time, though.
Well, I still want them to mention things, I still want them to.
I mean, like, what was it a few years ago? Cap was in like another dimension. He was still in the fucking Avengers book, you know?
Yeah, that's true. I think that's more of a focused example. And you're right, because that does happen all the time.
It was a wizard.
But there's a bigger problem. There is an issue at Marvel Comics with their books feeling like they are part of a shared universe, unless there's an event going on. You know what I mean? I think that's the biggest attraction for the X-Men for me right now. It all feels like it's part of everything else. Hey, that's a good idea, Big Will. They're going for a lot. Marvel's changing the art in that Hulk issue from moving out. So, if you got an issue of that, it was going for well above cover last time I looked. Back to Life Story. The art is great. I'm
just excited for Mark Russell, man. Getting off of DC, going over to Marvel, getting his foot in the door, and getting a great book. I think he can do great stuff for the Fantastic Four. He can really explore, like the time period of whenever the Fantastic Four came around and all that. He always has something interesting to say. His Superman versus Imperious Lex book is like the only thing out of Future State that I've liked so far that I've read.
Yeah, I enjoyed that too.
I'm all in on this.
Man, great segue there because Yara Flor. I'm looking for the art. Damn it, I can't find the art. There it is. Yara Flor, DC's newest Wonder Woman, is getting a new ongoing Wonder Girl #1 from Joelle Jones.
Good for her.
Book. Yeah, good for her.
I'm glad there's some hits out of Future State,
Yeah, they're also
that does seem to be the consensus pick for this was the hit for Future State. Like she's getting a TV show.
Red Hood gets an ongoing as well.
No, true. That is true.
Yeah. Now I'm not sure. Okay, because it's weird. Because when does the Yara Flor book take place in that future state timeline? Is she going to be in the regular universe with everybody else? How long before Bendis gets a hold of her and she ends up on the freaking,
in one of the comics? Continuity at DC is all over the place now. I'm going to talk about it later. Yeah, it's nothing makes sense right now.
Dude, remember when 5G before Future State was what it was before? It was 5G, and 5G was like, oh, it's going to fix all the continuity. Everything's going to be in place.
They say that
worse now than it's ever been.
And they fuck it up.
Honestly, part of just reading comics, and DC in particular, honestly, you just got to roll over those continuity bullshit.
Yeah, you're right. But there is... Again, it comes back to what I said earlier. You want to feel like you're part of a shared universe. That's
true. That's true.
And when it's that messed up, it's hard to really enjoy it. All right, we are going to talk WandaVision, at least the biggest reveal in WandaVision. But let's talk about Falcon Winter Soldier streaming March 19th. I cannot wait. I think only half of us have actually seen the trailer.
I've seen it. I've seen it since you said something about it.
Nice. I mean, Sam. Oh, that's just a look at. He's looking at the shield with the ghost of Steve Rogers behind him. That's awesome. Sharon Carter goes up. That's a terrible shot. I think this is supposed to be Madripoor, right?
Hopefully,
maybe.
I sure as
good chance.
So. Echo showed up, with her hand. She does have a different color scheme.
But don't all the guys on that in those wearing those hoods or masks? Don't they have the bloody hand on them too?
Okay, I don't know, but I know this actress has been cast as Maya Lopez. They show her face before she puts the helmet on. So, yeah, I do know that is without a doubt.
While I was watching the trailer, I didn't realize that. I thought it might have been Sin, like the Red Skull's daughter, but I'm sure you're right, though.
Yeah.
But the thing that gets me most excited about the trailer, though, I didn't realize this was going to be March 19th. This is going to come.
Yeah,
it's hot off the heels of when WandaVision ends. We're going to roll I think into the next week with this, and that's really cool.
I'm pretty sure that they have that planned at Disney Plus for the rest of the year. Like as soon as Falcon and Winter Soldier wraps up, isn't one of the Star Wars things supposed to happen?
Maybe. Or when are we getting Loki? Loki's
Loki. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's Loki.
Well, I know they had recently something about the Andor series.
Yeah, the Andor is coming out. I think that's 2022.
2022.
Andor is that's in the pipe. That's not coming out for a while. Yeah.
Well, they're in pre-production on that. They're filming a little bit of that. Yeah.
But definitely not this year.
Yeah, exactly. I think my favorite part of Winter Soldier was just the action.
That girl just whipped your ass.
Yeah, just the action, dude. It was action packed. This looked like a Marvel movie, but it's a TV show, dude. It's going to be that caliber.
They are blowing the money at this, and that is impressive.
I mean, look at this, dude. They fighting on the back of semi-trucks, a la The Matrix. I mean, they paid like $5 million for that scene in The Matrix, and that was like 20 years ago. Look at that. Dude, that's amazing. I'm stoked. Yeah. I'm excited. Yeah, it's right around the corner, dude. All right, WandaVision. What does it mean?
All right, David, fuck off.
Oh, gosh.
I'll say.
What does it mean?
X-Men.
I mean, it's already been spoiled for me.
Of course. It's spoiled for everybody.
Okay, then. All right, let's roll it. But,
so, I mean,
yeah, holy shit. Like,
is this how
I figured Quicksilver was going to show up eventually.
Is this how they're
I mean, they already had Quicksilver. I mean, bringing in Quicksilver doesn't mean they're bringing in mutants. They already had Quicksilver.
Well, Wanda's not a mutant, okay? She's a pretender. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Neither was Quicksilver, in this events,
Right. So I don't.
I'm excited about it, you know.
I mean, there's no way to not be excited.
To be honest, I like Evan Peters' interpretation of Quicksilver way more than the Marvel version.
The bulletproof vest,
but
wound up being he was terrible.
He was awful. He had no personality.
This really ended up being a great onslaught of cliffhanger bait here at the end, though, because it's like, hey, it's Quicksilver. Hey, it's the guy who played Quicksilver in the X-Men movies. Hey, they're acknowledging that it's a different actor playing Quicksilver in the show itself.
Yeah,
it's just like what does it mean that not just that they use this character, but that the characters in this show know that they are using a different version of the character?
Yeah.
Like,
so are there shitty X-Men movies in the MCU universe as well?
Well, it's teasing multiverse.
Is this multiverse crap? I don't know.
It's very compelling. It forces you to watch. Also, Vision number 5 has skyrocketed in value on the spec market because of Spark.
Good man. That Vision run is definitely skyrocketing.
That was great.
Viv and everything. Yep.
Well, is Viv even going to be in? I mean,
well, it doesn't matter. Her first appearance is still
Oh yeah, her first appearance is still hot just because of Champions, but I want it to be hot because she's on a TV show, because that's how your books really get hot.
Mm-hmm.
But
go ahead,
I feel like the twist and everything about the show, like it was a really good episode outside of that too, because like things are starting to fall apart. That Vision is starting to acknowledge all the bullshit that's going on, and he's having this existential crisis. Like I don't know what my life was before we came here. I don't know what's like 12 miles outside of my front door.
Well, it's a duality thing. It's sort of a duality thing there too, because he's like, all right, man, I really care about how my life is going. How did I get here? You know, what's going on? But I'm also really concerned about my old lady.
This is not my beautiful house.
You know,
and not my beautiful life.
Yeah, this is not my beautiful dog. So yeah, that's a great part. All right, did anyone notice when Wanda walks out of the shield and gets in front of all the sword guys?
Oh yeah, that's a whole other thing. And she can leave whenever the fuck she wants, apparently.
And her accent went back.
It did go back.
That was a good touch. That was a really good touch.
Did you also see a similarity of what she did to all those people pointing guns at her to what Magneto did in the first X-Men movie? Oh, you human Homo sapiens and your guns.
I don't know that was like the intended thing, but
I don't know either. It's flimsy, but somebody put it next to each other.
It was like a good like shut that asshole down moment, because it's like, you can literally do nothing to threaten me. Fuck off. Go feel impotent for a while,
Yeah, it was very cool, very interesting.
But I guess one last thing worth.
Go ahead.
Sorry, but like apparently there's speculation that Monica's aerospace engineer is maybe Reed Richards.
Yeah,
and that'd be kind of
possibly.
It's flimsy, but it would be an interesting way to like.
That the Sword team's off planet. One of them was the Fantastic Four.
There was one of the guys. Yeah, like the main guy.
That's as good a way of introducing it as anything else,
Yeah, the director of Sword did mention that he's got astronauts that he hasn't been able to find since the blip. Okay, so it's possible that there were astronauts out there doing their thing. They blipped, and then when they came back in their spaceship, which is still who knows where it is after 5 fucking years. That's how I would play it off. If we're gonna play it off of one,
that'd be a great way to bring the Fantastic
That would be a cool way to sort of play it off. Like, and they're just stuck out there; they don't know what to do, But who knows what they're gonna do? I'm telling you, the thing about WandaVision, I think it's the genius of it, is all the mystery and all. It compels you to speculate. You know what I mean? To guess, and that's half the fun of the MCU. Is what's gonna happen next, because it's steeped in its own history. It's got this lore.
Who is that? Why do they matter?
Yeah. Why? Ooh. Yeah. She mentioned the inherent radiation left over from the Big Bang. That's got to be the Fantastic Four. I'm like, no, dude. She just said
what do these commercials
four
mean?
letters. Yeah.
Like, this show is one of the ones that's the most fun to, get out your cork board and try to like connect all the string. It's got that like Lost before Lost was shitty energy.
Yeah.
And I've missed having a show like that,
Yeah, that's cool.
And
that's
no smoke monsters.
That's a good. Yeah, I like Lost, but I watched Lost streaming. I didn't wait week to week. I couldn't do it. I didn't go through the first round.
I still have a positive opinion about Lost overall.
Oh, me too.
It was really up its own ass for a few seasons there.
They should have stopped. They were at a good stop.
Oh yeah, it was totally spinning its wheels because the show outlived its own story. They just
they threw money at
everything for like 3 seasons.
That's why I don't want a second season of HBO's Watchmen. Because
you're not getting one.
You're not going to make.
While we're on the subject, I don't want a second season of this. I don't want them to try to like force another season of WandaVision.
They don't have to. They don't have to.
And, they probably
characters are going.
They probably couldn't even if they wanted to, because it all has to fit. Yeah, it all has to fit in the MCU anyway. You know.
Yeah, I don't want to see Fox's X-Men. Hoping introduction of X-Men like Hickman. I want that too, dude. I want an island where like 1 in a billion or 1 in a million people become mutants. They're all on this island. They're all hidden and detected early, hidden on the island, and Professor X wipes everybody's brains. That's what I want.
I don't know. I think you're more likely to get Genosha than you are to get Krakoa.
What's the difference? They'll call it Genosha.
They'll call it Genosha.
Okay, that's fair. Krakoa is kind of complicated anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have to introduce the 5. They have to introduce the idea that mutants are immortal. They have to do that. That
Krakoa only hits because like all this Dawn of X stuff only really hits so well because it follows like a long string of stories, like a whole continuity. If you just start with that, I don't know that works the same.
But Genosha, I think, is a well enough known term, a word that's associated with mutants.
I think you could just have the island of Genosha and not actually delve into the Krakoa stuff and just do Genosha.
One last thing on WandaVision. I think my favorite part of the whole thing now is people want a Jimmy Woo and Darcy show where they do X-Files shit.
Oh, fuck yeah. I would watch that.
Oh, hell yeah.
I would love that. I want that right now, dude. And everybody's talking about they want John Krasinski as Reed Richards. No, I want him as a multiversal version of Jimmy Woo, like they play off their rift in The Office. I don't know if Taylor's ever watched The Office. There's one where he plays a prank.
Yeah, I saw a reference to that. It all went completely over my head.
Yeah, the actor who plays Jimmy Woo actually sits in for John Krasinski's character to play a prank on one of his coworkers. Said no, and he's like, "Oh, how good on you for never seeing race." It's one of the more famous cold opens of The Office, and it makes a hell of a meme.
It does.
All right, so yeah, we'll have more on WandaVision next week because damn, shit just is happening. It's happening.
Yeah. Shit's happening every week in that show, and it's great.
Food news. It's getting close to Easter, y'all. So there's new Peeps. This is nasty. I hate Peeps.
Put them in their microwave.
So they have shit-flavored Peeps now?
What is jousting?
I don't think that's feces flavored. That is chocolate caramel swirl. They also have Fruit Loops.
Okay.
Fruit Loops.
Oh, I have to find some of them.
And my favorite, even though I'm never going to eat them,
going to go up.
It's 2 of the worst candies combined. Hot.
Oh my god. Oh my god, that sounds awful.
Get these for the people in your life who already really hate themselves.
Hey, would you like some strawberry Peeps?
Oh yeah, dude! I bet you can smell these. I bet these stink up a room.
Probably.
They look so nasty. But yeah, well, they're probably more.
You'd have to give it to somebody like with no sense of smell, otherwise that you could not
give
pull
it to
that
someone
trick.
with the Rona.
Give it to somebody with COVID.
With the Rona.
Or give it.
But then you wouldn't taste it anyway, right? So.
Yeah, your mouth would just be on fire, and you'd have no idea why. Oh, those are the wrong faces.
They are the wrong faces for this one.
Moment of Destruction, where we talk about Hasbro's series of action comics over there at IDW. There's only one this week, but it was a big one. Beast Wars #1. Eric Burnham and Josh Burcham. I'll just give my quick thing and then let Adam take over because he is the Beast Wars guy. I am a G1 guy, but it seems like I do know a little bit about Beast Wars.
Yeah.
It seems like they redid the entire first episode of G1 and just made it Beast Wars.
Well, to be fair, that was Beast Wars.
This is continuity. This is just rehashing.
This is continuity. They added a little extra to it. They added the it was always a thing that Megatron had stolen the golden disc, but they added a little bit more background with the Tripredicus Council and all of that.
Yeah, but wasn't it the character of Megatron in Beast Wars took the name of Megatron? He was somebody else before that.
That's exactly what happened.
Right.
He was Galavar.
Galavar.
Galavar. Yeah.
Yeah, and he does that in this one too.
Yep, he does that in this.
yeah, this issue is basically beat for beat the first episode of Beast Wars, which is exactly what it needed to be.
Awesome. They did happy with it.
Yeah, they added a couple of little extra character bits with the Maximals.
There's a new character called Nyx.
There's a new character called Nyx. There's also a new Predacon called Scold. But there's a new character interaction here. Optimus Primal seems more like a hot rod character in this than he does in the show.
He's not the stoic leader that you're used to seeing your Optimus Prime character sort of take on.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's definitely more hot rod than he is Optimus Prime.
But this is definitely a good step for this book.
Did Megatron go yes in this book?
No, he did not.
I don't think so.
He did not, which was disappointing. So let me introduce all of the characters. It gave you all of their character interactions. You know their relationships now.
Sort of what their operational status was. Like in G.I. Joe, their code names were sort of what they did.
Right.
It sort of ran through the dialogue of like one was the weapons guy, one was the navigator. It was really it worked well. The writing, the art, not so much. The art should have been better.
The art, I like the art style. My problem with the art is that a lot of the backgrounds were bland. They're very bare, and then some of the characters were a little loose.
Kind of considering late 90s CGI, the backgrounds were a little bland too.
That's true, and I'm not sure because that actually occurred to me. Maybe they were trying to go for that.
Well, what excuse does somebody drawing a comic book in 2021 have? You know.
Well, the other problem is a lot of this issue happens inside of spaceships, and so there's really only so much you can do when you're just looking at spaceship walls. Yeah. So hopefully, now that they're on Earth, we'll actually see some nice.
That's another excellent point. I thought the art thrived when it was more outside the ship.
Mm-hmm. I thought it really worked once they were animals.
Oh, dude! Once they were animals, that's why I pulled this. This is probably the best panel from the whole thing. If it does more like this with the animals, I'm definitely going to be on board for the.
Well, that's Beast Wars' thing is they cannot be robots for. Well, that Beast Wars thing is they can't be in robot mode for long periods of time. So most of the time they are in their beast modes
because of the energy. Now let me just ask about the timeline. It's my understanding that Beast Wars takes place after G1. Actually,
so Beast Wars takes place in the beginning. It's both. So it takes place after G1. It starts, and they go back in time,
like in this issue.
In this issue, to before G1. They go back to the time, after the Autobots crash into Earth, but before they wake up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how it was in the TV series. Is that the Maximals and the Predacons were descendants of the Autobots and Decepticons,
right?
And through time travel chicanery, they ended up in prehistoric Earth.
There's a whole big thing where Megatron is trying to kill Optimus Prime. The Beast Wars Megatron is trying to kill Optimus Prime. And honestly, the G1 Megatron, because he's trying to change the timeline.
Gotcha.
Of what's going on. Yeah,
that's rad.
And that's where like later on in the Beast Wars series, you have like the vehicle mode Optimus Primal is because his spark merges with Optimus Prime spark.
Holy crap!
And that's where you get the Dragon Megatron.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I do have a question. It's more related to the toy line because there's like these new characters that are basically like fossils. Do they explain them?
That's from the Kingdom line?
No, we have not seen them yet.
Okay.
In the comic book, so I
not in the comic book, but they do sort of. I mean, I don't know if they're alluding to that in this image with these. I mean, I know that's basically Megatron, but there's also a Raptor over here.
But that's Dinobot.
Yeah, but in the Kingdom line,
there is a paleo guy. Yeah,
they have a paleo guy who has a robot mode and a dinosaur mode, but he's made out of bones. Mm-hmm. But he's also got this third mode where he's armor.
Yeah, that's
like a weapon.
Carrying on like the theme from like
that's rad, dude.
Siege and Kingdom.
Yeah, I'm getting that. Well, that's the Kingdom line. That's
Earthrise.
Earthrise. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, we have Escape next week, Transformers Escape. So tune in for that. Let's get into top 3. Let's get into some Big D, you missed last week, so you got to go first, Pally. With any,
and I will go first.
It's kind of a light week for me, but
all right. Just honorable mentions: Wrong Earth, Night and Day, #2. Just more of the adventures of Dragonfly Man from the different Earths getting together and trying to solve a crime and trying to get back to their respective universes.
Cool.
Another one I picked up was Chained to the Grave #1 from IDW.
It's all right. It's like a Western.
It's like a supernatural Western, yeah.
All right.
A man gets brought back from death, but he's literally chained to his coffin. Yeah. So he has to drag it around like a leg iron.
It's weird. It's okay though.
It's okay. It's interesting. Kind of interested to see where it goes. The end of the issue, he ends up getting into a gunfight that he kills his wife by accident. So
yeah,
that's
brutal.
Yeah, and he took it really hard.
It was weird that he dug himself up at the beginning, and his kids are like, "Oh, Dad, you're home." He's like, "Don't look at me, I'm dead."
He's like green. He's like missing part of his face, and his kids are just like, "Okay, hi, Dad.
Did you bring us anything?"
I brought you some maggots, kid.
Yeah. Number three,
High Republic #2.
Cool.
Just really enjoying this series. It's a kind of like a throwback to the old Dark Horse comic books of yesteryear. Our team of Jedis investigates a ship that's been attacked, and apparently a Hutt has been killed.
It's brutal.
It's brutal. Yeah, and we kind of get some more detail on our Trandoshan Jedi Master, how he lost his arm. Artwork is pretty solid. It does really remind me of like the Tom Vett stories from the Dark Horse era.
Yeah. I love the twins in this.
The twins.
Tessic or whatever.
Yeah, their names are the others' names spelled backwards. Like
they're like Tomax and Zaymon.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about that.
From G.I. Joe. They're so rad, and they have the Force, dude.
They have the Force, and they have some kind of connection.
It's rad,
and that plays in the later on in the book when they go to a planet that's not necessarily aligned with the Republic, and they don't get a very warm reception from the locals at that planet. So it's kind of an interesting dynamic because by the time the Star Wars universe we're familiar with, a lot of places, a lot of planets, and a lot of species are in the Republic. So it's nice to see a non-aligned planet getting visited by the Jedi, and they're just like, we don't want you here. Go away.
Yeah. I agree. But yeah, I love those twins, man. That was my favorite part. And then Seer or whatever his name is, he's awesome.
Seer, yeah.
He's awesome.
He is pretty cool.
He's going to the dark side, and I cannot wait.
Yeah, it does seem like he has these. He did like have a moment where he called like the assailants monsters. They're animals,
yeah, dude.
And that Jedi Marshal was like, even our enemies deserve a modicum of respect. And he's like, I'll meditate on this later.
He's like, hey, I'll meditate on it. It's like giving her the finger almost. It was great.
Yeah.
It's a good issue, man. I'm glad Star Wars feels like it's back for me. I'm burned out on Skywalker Saga. I don't even want to read any of that.
I always thought some of the better Star Wars stories didn't involve the rebellion era stuff.
Yeah. Good choice.
Thank you.
You want to go clockwise? You want to go, Taylor? You want to go next?
Sure thing. Not an honorable mention, but we were talking before about Jonathan Kent as Superman. Like how he's like not a very good Superman.
Terrible. Dishonorable mention.
Yeah. So not necessarily like bad, but I thought it was interesting at the end. He of course restores the city to its proper size, and it was interesting that all the citizens of Metropolis were basically like, "Oh, John, we can't stay mad at you," and they got over it really quick.
That's how it ended. He's like, "I'm sorry," and they're like, "Oh, that's good, but that's okay, man. You tried your best."
Yeah.
Yeah. They shrugged off losing months of their life in the fucking Thunderdome.
He's not the best Superman, but he's our Superman.
Yeah.
You're not a true fan.
He gets a participation trophy.
I mean, But isn't he on the Justice League? That means he's gonna go do stuff outside of Metropolis, but like he gave this whole speech about like I'm gonna be the Superman for you, Metropolis, fuck everyone else. But then like presumably that's not true. He's gonna go off and do stuff in other parts of the world, but well, whatever. So I just thought that was kind of weird. I still enjoyed the Mr. Miracle backup. That was the best part of this.
Yep.
Anyway, not an actual honorable mention.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
See, I need to get a chance to use it, but I will give an honorable mention to the High Republic. I enjoyed it too. I missed the first issue because the fucking speculators got there before I could get that one.
A lot of first appearances in there.
It is enjoyable reading.
Uh-oh. We lost Taylor.
Oh no.
Okay, am I back?
Yeah, I think you're back. Try again.
Okay, so I enjoy like seeing stuff that we're familiar with, but in like a different way. So that is like a cool way to get your Star Wars here.
Yeah, it's just fun visiting the Star Wars universe, dude. You know, and this feels a lot more fresher than everything else. Did anyone read the High Republic Adventures over at IDW?
Sorry.
Probably not.
It debuted a new Jedi who is the same race, Chagrin or whatever. All right, do y'all remember when Emperor Palpatine was up in front of the Senate and he had those two Jokers? Chancellor Valorum did too. He had those two Jokers standing next to him.
Yeah,
one had big horns or whatever.
The bighorn one.
Yeah, it's that race.
Okay.
He's a Jedi. Right. Oh, he's a badass in that book, dude. Him and Yoda show up and just clean house. It was rad. It was a really good issue. Yeah.
All right.
Sorry.
I'll do one last honorable mention.
High Republic.
No, it's fine. But one last honorable mention for Strange Academy number 8. Doyle had some "I came back from the dead" counseling, and honestly, that's kind of a neat idea. I guess more superheroes could probably use that. But
well, there was
my number
a whole 3 about it, bro.
Yeah,
it was
like that.
Wasn't yeah, but that sucked. But
I like Heroes of Christ. I get it though. I understand why people.
All right. I am so sick of people fucking shitting all over Wally West, man. I am over it.
I know exactly.
Care.
Yeah, no.
I don't care what you're trying to do. I am done with people shitting on Wally West.
No, that's
anyway.
I hope you didn't read the Future State Flash book that came out.
Yeah, I read about it.
Not.
Yeah, yeah. It's all about the uniform.
All right, so my number 3 though is Avengers Next Strike number 1.
Nice. I have that in my honorable mentions. Go ahead. That's a good pick.
My number 3 is Avengers. Yeah.
Oh. Okay,
not much actually happens, which is why it's not ranked higher. We didn't get to see the robots actually punch monsters here, which would have been kind of cool to see. But I just love this idea. It's stupid, but it's fun. And by that merit alone, it's making my top 3.
Yeah, I have this in my honorable mentions. It was a solid debut that set things up, but really all we needed to know is, hey, this big monster that eats and absorbs everything like a giant, blob monster can't absorb vibranium. That was the big setup. Okay, that's why we need these mech suits. It's a pretty simple premise, dude. I don't know why you needed 30 pages to do that.
It came up with some sort of. It came up with a. It was just a premise for let's get these guys in Gundams,
Yeah, exactly.
It accomplished that not necessarily well, but it was a serviceable way of getting that across.
And Alexander
they could have
did nothing
wrong. They could have skipped the prologue.
Exactly, sure. I'm already sold on that premise. That's why I picked up the damn book. Okay, now get on with it. Issue number 2 is going to be great, though. Issue number 2 is going to be number 1. I can already feel it for the week. I can already feel it. Excellent choice. I'll mention Avengers 42 as an honorable mention. I think it's probably going to get picked up again, simply because something major may or may not have happened in that book. I also honorable mention Mech Strike, but my number 3 book is actually, I don't have the image for this one either. Oh yeah, I do. Legend of Shang-Chi number 1 by Alyssa Wong and Andy Tong. This is a surprise hit for me. This is just a one-shot story. Shang-Chi's hired by the British, secret, whatever, MI6, British intelligence, to go steal a sword that's all magic-y. He goes in to get it, but Lady Deathstrike's already there trying to steal it, and they just have a whole lot of fight, and then he steals the blade,
that's your official words for it, fight.
Fight, win. But sometimes that's all you need, It was just just a fine comic.
It was fun kung fu action. Yeah,
exactly, dude. It was dope kung fu action. Written pretty well. You know, it was solidly written. It wasn't anything like unusual, or it was just
did not wear its welcome though.
Exactly. It was just so welcome. Just a refreshing little, Avengers not in mech suits. You know what I mean? No Phoenix in my Avengers this week. You know what I mean? It was just one of those, and it was great, dude. I loved it. I want more like this. But this was just a one shot, so I don't know if we'll ever see any more of Shang-Chi ever again. Adam, honorable mention.
Well, I mean, he's got a movie coming out, so they'll definitely do something with him
surely
in the
get
near future.
Oh yeah, he'll definitely at least get another mini.
He'll get another one shot at least.
Yeah. Honorable mention this week. I'm gonna honorable mention Man Bat #1 from DC. It was okay. I like the art. The artwork was good. It was a decent Man Bat story. If you like Man Bat, you'll like the story.
Maybe that's my problem with it. I just don't care one way or the other about Man Bat.
Right, that's just the thing. So, like, if you don't give a shit about Man Bat, then you're not going to give a shit about this book.
Yeah,
so,
like, there's a Morbius book coming out next week. I'm sure it's going to be fine, but I just don't give a shit about Morbius. So
exactly. Yeah. But if you do care about Man Bat, it's a decent read. So you can get it, go for it, check it out. And then another honorable mention: Hellions #9. Zeb Wells. It was a fun book, really funny. Had some good character interactions. Just waiting for more stuff to happen in it.
Whack mastermind moments, dude. He was just.
Yep.
I was like, at one point, I was like, oh shit, I don't know what's going on. That's how bad Zeb Wells wrote Mastermind to screw with the team. He was screwing with me too.
So, definitely. And I think the next issue, like you were saying with the mech team, the next issue will probably be #1. I think the next issue of this one is probably going to be a great issue.
Arcade.
Yeah, Arcade.
That was the big reveal at the end of this. Arcade showed up. He's been in Black Widow doing something, but I love Arcade. He's a great villain, and I want to see more. I think he works perfect for a Hellions team.
Oh, that is loud.
Yeah. But my actual #3 pick this week is Beast Wars #1.
Nice.
Yep, nice. It was a great debut issue. It's really nice to be excited about a Transformers book again for once. Can't wait to read the next issue. So,
good choice, excellent choice. David, you're #2.
My #2 pick. My #2 pick is Redemption #1 from AWA.
I didn't know what was going on in this book. I couldn't follow it.
Apparently it's set in the post-apocalypse with a small town with a big wall called Redemption. It's keeping what's left of humanity alive, apparently.
It's like a Western, though.
It's like a futuristic Western. I thought it was like maybe a Western in outer space, like a la, Copperhead and
Copperhead
and Brave Star, but
before Scott Godlewski left that book, it was one of the best things I was reading, man.
But when you when you read it, this is by Christina Foss and Mike Deodato Jr. So excellent artwork. I mean, really sets the tone for the book. But apparently somebody is going to be put to death for providing an abortion to a rape victim.
Oh my gosh.
And
I didn't even get that far in the book.
And the daughter of the accused has basically set out to find a legendary gunslinger known as the Butcher. And the Butcher is basically Linda Hamilton from Terminator.
Oh.
So they give chase to the girl. Her name, the Butcher's name is Kat Tanner. And our girl finds the Butcher and is in hot pursuit by a posse. And upon confrontation, she basically is like, they're like, "What are you going to do, Grandma? Spank us and send us to bed without dinner?" And she's like, "Far, far worse." And it's like a dozen guys, and she just guns them down.
Nice. I didn't get past the whipping scene at the beginning. I don't know.
But it's basically the whipping scene is that there is a very religious fundamental preacher that has kept the town together through iron will, and the woman has broken the rules and apparently is being put to death for it. So
AWA's hitting hard, man.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed it. But this book right here, if this was to be licensed for a movie or something on Netflix, Linda Hamilton has got to be the Butcher.
Oh, nice. Taylor, number 2.
All right, so my number 2 is Immortal Hulk number 43. Full disclosure, I did not notice the controversial panel when I read through it. It was in the background. I don't know whether that was on purpose or not. If it was on purpose, really shitty. But I don't know.
Well, he's apologized for it. I mean, we can only take it.
I still enjoyed this issue because of, yeah.
Excuse me.
All right, but I did enjoy this issue because it was a good look at Joe Fixit's internal monologue, which we don't get too much of this. This book is a lot of fun because we look at the different personalities of the different Hulks, and we get to see the grifter Hulk going around basically scamming people this entire issue. And it actually gets him in trouble when he does finally stop to help someone, is when the UFOs show up, because they can track him when he turns into Savage Hulk, which he ends up having to do to save some kid who is getting hassled by the police for just wearing a hoodie that had the Hulk's name on it.
Oh wow! I just see. I just have to say, because everybody made a big deal about the terrible thing that was in this book, and it was a big deal. But Al Ewing actually brings some real world sort of, with the hoodie and the cop stopping the kid for wearing the hoodie. You know what I mean? That's some actual real life shit, especially I think Trayvon Martin, his birthday was just the other day. That's obviously what he's, referencing there. It just kind of sucks that an important moment in a book gets eclipsed because of a terrible moment in a book.
It is a shame.
Yeah. Still, Immortal Hulk, this could be in the running for best runs for the top 5. It could be.
It could be.
But yeah, it could be. Peter David, Walt Simonson, didn't he have a run on the Hulk? I don't know.
I'm not as up on my Hulk.
Know.
Yeah. I know the Peter David run on the Hulk, might be a little bit better.
Planet Hulk.
Planet Hulk is definitely my favorite run on the Hulk by Greg Pak. But I don't know. Excellent choice either way, even with all the divisive stuff going on. Anyway, my number 2, Venom, number 32, Donny Cates, Ivan Coella. Just amazing art. I mean, look at this shit. Look at that. I mean, what the hell? That's Dylan, Eddie's kid, just showing off. But it's kind of deep. Eddie's in symbiote hell with Rex and Flash. It turns out that they're actually in symbiote purgatory. Dylan is upstairs freeing all the nullified heroes, and the trio of dead Venom sees the heroes are leaving this hive area, this purgatory. And they realize that they can walk through these newly created wounds into this whole new area of the nether realm. And they can start attacking Null in this other area, the sort of, I don't know, meta level of consciousness that all symbiotes and their hosts share. I don't know, dude. It's whack. It's always been whack, but it's high sci-fi. Cates is doing it right. But man, this art, every freaking page is like this, dude. Just full of detail, full of awesome going on. I don't know if you're reading King in Black, but there's a Celestial attacking New York. You can see in the background the Celestial fist just popping. It's amazing. And I'm enjoying King in Black a whole lot. I want to see more of it. And I'm going to talk about King in Black again before the show is over.
Awesome.
Are you up to number 2?
Yeah, number 2. My number 2 was Avengers number 42. It was another dumb, fun issue of Avengers fighting action from Jason Aaron, just him playing with his action figures, smashing them all together, giving them all the Phoenix. I like this issue. I
want Hasbro action figures of all of these Avengers in their Phoenix forms.
The thing is, you might get
Super Saiyans.
Yeah, I want all of them.
But yeah, but this issue is a little dumb though. Not much happens. They try to to fool the Phoenix, but the Phoenix is wise to it. There is a big reveal at the end.
Oh, I've got it. Let's do it.
Let's do the reveal.
It appears that no, Thor's mom is not what's her name or Gaia or do you remember when we did that trivia and we blew? That was the only question we screwed up was Thor's mom.
Yeah. Yep.
But they were wrong too.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. I know that eats at Taylor. Some nights he's like trying to go to sleep, and that memory just pops in there and eats at him.
It does bother me. It doesn't like haunt me or anything, but I am bugged that I missed that.
Yeah. Everybody missed it though, but Taylor's like, I'm not everybody. Anyway, it turns out that the Phoenix might be Thor's mama.
Now, is it the Phoenix or is it that specific host of the Phoenix?
I don't know what the difference is.
I don't know anymore either at this
I don't know
point.
what the difference is between this host and the Phoenix.
I don't think, okay, so she was 1,000,000 BC, right?
Yeah.
I don't think Thor is that old, so I don't think it could be her.
They're gonna
well, it's young Odin, so Thor definitely wasn't that old.
I don't know, man. The internet's cracked in half, okay, when this dropped. And everyone was like, nah, that's bullshit. Aaron's run's terrible, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I've been liking his run. And everybody, it's like he's saying you like Star Wars, you know?
I think it's fine, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I think it's
fun. It's a lot of fun.
I like the idea of...
I like watching Namor fight people with Phoenix sharks.
Dude, Namor, it's like 10 pages. He's just going on and on about how badass he always has been. Talk about,
man, fuck Namor.
I know, dude. I was halfway through this. I was like, man, fuck this book. Fuck Namor. I don't want to read this. But then once it got off Namor and you're like, Cap and Shang-Chi fighting was rad, dude. It was so fun. Yeah, did Aaron and Case talk about this? Yeah, right. I don't know, man. Yeah. I don't know. Donnie Case is like, oh, this is awesome.
That was definitely my favorite part of the issue. I'll go ahead and tell you this was
this adventure.
This is my number one, and it's mostly on.
Did we lose Taylor again?
I don't know.
Yes, he's frozen.
But
now he isn't.
This is my number one pick, mostly on the strength of. Am I back?
Yeah, mostly on the strength of.
Okay. Off the strength of the internal monologues that Jason Aaron is writing for all these different characters. Like, I loved Shang-Chi, like, describing all of the mental.
On that note, he's back. He's back. On that same note, I loved how Wolverine's inner monologue was working. Yeah, Taylor, go ahead on the inner monologue of Shang-Chi. You're right, because I really like Logan's.
But I just like how, like, there's, like, this spiritual journey from, like, the core of his being every time he throws a punch at someone. I really like the whole description of that.
Yeah. Like Adam said, this is just Jason Aaron having a good time with,
It's dumb fun, but it is fun.
He's earned it. He's earned it. Especially at Marvel. He's done so much damn good stuff. Sure, just have a good time and, carry on. Who's next? David, you're up for number. What is it? Number 2?
Number 1.
Oh my gosh! Do it. What's your book of the week?
Fear Case. Fear Case number 1.
I didn't like Fear Case either.
Go
ahead. Sorry.
All right. So the premise is we have like
shitting all over everything.
On his parade, man. Yeah.
I hated all his books this week.
The premise is that there's this case that Secret Service agents get about this box that it's basically like a chain letter. You have to give it to somebody within 3 days or terrible things happen to you. So we have our 2 Secret Service agents of Winters and Mitchum. They've been on this case for a year because apparently there's like a time limit that each new Secret Service agents have to solve this case. But this mysterious box of evil things is getting moved around. And now they've kind of learned that they're close to finding it, and they're trying to find it before like the members of this like doomsday cult get it.
It's whack, dude.
It is crazy. It's kind of got this like very Tyler Jenkins is the artist, Matt Kent's the writer. Yeah. It's got this very, very dark style, well-paced artwork to it that I really like, a very noir kind of deal. But it's not very action packed, but when there's the scenes that they want the most impact, they're there.
Yeah. that's really what threw me off was, well, it's twofold, man. I didn't find the story gripping at all. I found it kind of, it felt like it telegraphed everything. You know what I mean? Like the first 4 or 5 pages read sort of like stereo instructions to me. Like, oh, this is what's happening. And they did have this little bit about coffee, you know, how he loves the coffee.
My old man used to get up at 3 a.m. in the morning and grind his coffee, and this is what it tastes like. This coffee tastes like discipline.
Yeah, I just didn't care for this. I mean, they're great creators, you know. I was expecting better from it actually, but
I didn't. I had to read it like twice, but upon the second read, it made a lot more sense, and a lot of it started clicking, and I'm like, oh wow, this is actually really cool.
I'm happy to see Dark Horse getting some new books coming out.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, if anything, it's kind of got like an X-Files vibe to it.
Yeah, that's what I described as sort of like a weird, I don't know. X-Files is almost too much because X-Files, they're purposely looking into like supernatural shit. And this is sort of like they're accidentally stumbling upon.
No, they're not accidentally stumbling upon it. Apparently what it is, you know, the Secret Service was the first investigative branch of law enforcement, and as more branches have come along, the Secret Service has relinquished more and more of their investigative authorities to these other branches, the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, all these other branches of the government agencies. Yeah. But they keep certain legacy cases, and apparently this box is a legacy case.
Yeah, but it's supernatural.
Yeah, it's supernatural.
Yeah, it's almost like it's accidentally X-Files. You know what I mean? I don't know. Not a bad choice though, but I hated it. Taylor's number one was Thor Got a New Mama.
Maybe. Yeah, we're done with me.
My number one was King in Black Marauders number 1. It was brilliant.
I did like that. I was, yeah.
Gary Duggan, Jerry Dugan, whatever, Luke Ross. I love this book so much. It's just a one-shot, and it's really just barely a King in Black tie-in. You know, it has nothing to do with anything that's actually going on. Earth has been invaded by Null. Null has nullified, meaning he's possessed heroes in New York City. Several of those heroes are Krakoans. So the island nation is sending in a hero squad to rescue them, and those are the Marauders. So Kate Pride, you know, and the crew head to New York. On the way, they get an SOS from a cargo ship that's being attacked by some nullified dragons. They save the crew. The crew's like, yeah, we're good. Let's go. Bishop hears a knock, knock, knocking, and it's actually some human traffickers. Kate gives the captain a what for, which was great. Like, you asshole. So the Marauders save them, and they rescue everybody, the captain, the crew, and these victims. It's a great moment because the victims are like, Kate's like, hey, we'll just take you to New Jersey. And they're like, no, dude, we're not going to the United States. We want to go to Canada. And they're like, oh, shit. Okay. So great thing Jerry Duggan thrown in there that America hates, you know.
Hard to blame them.
Hard to blame them. So it was really a cool moment. She gets in, you know, communication with Emma, who gets in with everybody else, and they take them to Island M. There's nobody on Island M right now. It's just empty. They use Krakoan technology on Island M to make them a little, you know, house and hang out. Magneto has this awesome moment at the end where he's saying, you know, everybody's going to talk shit on Krakoa, how we're assholes. Just remember this. You know, this is our one non-asshole moment. It was really cool. But my favorite part was what they do to these human traffickers. They use the Krakoan gates to send them to the middle of the desert, like a day's walk from civilization. And dude's like, man, you're not even leaving us any water. And then Bobby's like, here, take as much as you can carry. It's so great. Just great moments like that. A whole lot of action. But there was also this other little angle going on. Because, yes, while Krakoa, you know, the Quiet Council, sent the Marauders to go rescue their folks, Beast said to Bishop, hey, if you can't free them one way, free them another way. Because as we've learned from the end of Sword number 2, nullified mutants can still get through the gates. Meaning Cyclops and Storm and Marvel Girl, whoever the hell else is nullified, they can get through the gates. They present an extreme security risk for Krakoa. So again, it really doesn't matter that they die. You know, As long as you can confirm that you murdered them, you can just resurrect them. But it just shows this weird, morally gray area that the mutants have slid into when it
That's some dark beast shit.
It's dark shit, dude. We can just kill him because death doesn't matter.
This has been super dark lately.
In the preview for Sword number 3, Manifold goes to this old, and this comes out next week, goes to this old alien race that sort of trades in superpowers. They have technology that can absorb your superpowers. Well, the Krakoans are just willing to give them 2 mutants so that they'll come and help Earth defeat Null. That's just in the first 2 pages of that book. And that's sort of the shit we deal with when it comes to X-Men now. Every issue is like this question of the morality of everything that the X-Men
is. That's what makes it great.
And this is just awesome because it's set up against all of this amazing shit, right? First, Kate and the crew are sent to go rescue their people. Then they're given the moral question, well, there's this ship that needs our help. And she's like, well, we got to go help these humans, you know? So that's a great thing. That's awesome. That's morally white, you know? So then they go and help this crew, and then they find out that they're assholes. So then they rescue, you know, the human trafficking victims, again, morally white, but then they're like, all right, we need to, you know, punish these human traffickers, even though, no, that is not your job to punish these human traffickers. They send them to the middle of the desert. They have to walk a day with water. Now, that's a terrible thing for them to do, but us as the audience is like, no, those guys deserve that. They might as well do it. And then they present this other thing where, no, it's okay if Bishop just goes ahead and murders Cyclops and Storm because we can just bring them back. Which is just so morally gray and black. You would never think that heroes would do that, but
we do that all the time in Hellions, man.
It makes sense.
It's just been established.
And I even like the art. So yeah, all around, just a great issue. Jerry Dugan had the writer of this book. He did a convention over the summer last year where he was asked specifically, you know, when you're writing a book, because he was doing something with Empire, when you're writing a book and someone says, hey, we need you to stop what you're doing on that book so you can write a tie-in for an event, doesn't that just kind of hurt your whole process? And he's like, no, I
actually
love it.
You know,
he says he loves it when that happens because it's almost like someone else is giving him a sandbox.
And you can tell when you read his books because he did a really long Deadpool run a few years ago, and every single tie-in arc that he did to somebody's event, those were the best arcs of that run.
Yeah, he said that it's almost like he has to take what he's doing and fit it into someone else's, you know, sandbox. And it's like he loves that challenge. It invigorates him. He's like, that's why I write comics, because we're able to do stuff like that. And
it's an evolving story. It's always living. Yeah.
It really showed out on this. So bravo, great job. Again, I think this is probably, since comics have come back, you know, from 2020, I've had an X book in my top 3 every weekend. This is another one.
And you know, I'm going to continue that trend because my number 1 was X Factor number 7. Leah Williams, David Baldeón, or Baldeón. This was another fantastic issue. I love this book because this book explores relationships.
That's right.
It explores emotions. It explores trauma. It explores people trying to get past their trauma together. There's and it also brings up really interesting questions about the whole resurrection process with Krakoa in the first place. There's a whole thing in here where Prodigy may or may not be like an extra clone of himself. He might be alive out there somewhere. And so he might be an extra clone, which is specifically what X Factor was created to prevent.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. So
I think my favorite part of this issue was the way they explained Dawkins' pheromone powers. Right now, he can put out his own pheromones, but he doesn't have much control over that, just limited control. But he can also smell your pheromones and detect what's going on. But there's no context there. So he can tell that you're kind of into him, but he's like an
empath, but he's like a blind empath.
It's like a blind empath. And it was like, oh man. And that was just so, because it's sort of like Wolverine. You know, Wolverine's powers are his worst thing, but they're the best part about him. It was the same thing with that power and Daken, man. It's like, man, what a great power to have. You can detect people's emotions just by smelling them. But it's a bad thing to have because you don't know what the context is. And smelling desire on someone, what is it? They actually really want an emotional relationship with you? Are they just lusting after you? And how
do they have something bad for lunch?
Exactly. How do you process that information to actually make it something that you can act on and do it properly? And he's doing it while trying to carry on this amazing relationship with Aurora, which just feels so organic, and it's great, dude.
They're excellently written.
Oh man, just so well done. Great issue.
He gets sent off. Daken gets sent off on a mission to follow Siren, who's been acting strange for a while now. She's been like killing herself. Yeah. Well, she's Morgan. Yeah. That's what we learned in this issue. And he gets sent off to follow her. Polaris got mind wiped or whatever by Morgan.
Yeah, by Siren.
In the last issue by Siren. And Eyeboy sees it with his powers. He sees her acting differently, her doing different things, lying about where Daken is.
Eyeboy, I think, is my new favorite mutant.
He is low key the best character in that book.
He's awesome.
Then Siren realizes that Daken has been following him or her, and she beats the shit out of him and leaves him to die.
It's like the end of Logan. It reminded me of the end of Logan.
Basically, that is exactly what it looks like.
Yeah.
Leaves him impaled in the middle of this frozen tundra. And not only that, she's berating him the whole time, too, telling him that nobody cares about him. They're just going to think that he ran away like he always does. And they're just going to leave him to rot in his spot forever.
Yeah. So, it was emotional.
It was emotional. And the art for that scene was fantastic too, with the panel layout, how it was following all around the 2 pages.
Yes.
But then North Star realizes what's going on. He races around the world to find Daken, finds him, brings him back, and then Daken has a nice moment with Aurora where they kind of have a kiss. That said, though, I don't really like where this issue ends, where it kind of does a jump cut to everybody being dead in the future.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not sure where they're going. I don't know if he was trying to make up for maybe a lack of action, because this book didn't have any action. It didn't have any action,
but it didn't need it at all.
It reminded me of the Transformer shit from Phase 2 of IDW. Because
exactly. It felt like I was reading Lost Light or More Than Meets the Eye. It felt like I was reading some real character growth.
Yeah. I liked it too, man. Great book. So good. But that's it. I think we're done. We're all booked out. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. I know you're probably watching the Super Bowl. We got 4 in the chat still. There was 2 or 3 in there, consistently. So thanks, everybody, for listening. If you're listening, you're on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter. Go over to those other 2 platforms that you're not on. Search out Outright Geekery. Like, follow, share over there. We'd really appreciate it. We're also on Patreon, patreon.com/Outright Geekery.
Just a tip.
Yeah, we just want the tip. We got a whole lot of other shit going on. The 16th and the 23rd, we're doing Geekterion RoboCop, which I just found out this week is the blackest movie ever. And top 5 comic book runs, writers, must be more than 1 arc, and they just one of anything rule is in place. That's going to be a shit ton of fun. I cannot wait. The comic book bullies are over here on our Facebook page all the time. They should have a new show up tonight. Big Willie is doing all kinds of shit. He did like 6 shows last week, interviewing creators, reviewing comics.
That's why he slept 18 hours.
That's why he slept 18 hours. But yeah, that's it. That's us. That's the show. Thanks for hanging out. Come back tomorrow. We're doing the preview show. And yeah, I guess that's it. We're going to see you all next time.
Same geek time, same geek channel.
But Dave, I don't know if you've heard Jules put in same geek time, same geek channel. But man, that dude puts in some effort.
I can't hear you over the music.
Oh, sure. Blame the music. Blame the music.